Chaos and anger in the streets of Minneapolis after a woman is shot and killed by an ICE officer.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
This is video of the purported shooting, captured by a bystander. The video shows ICE officers approaching the SUV, telling the driver to get out of the car. The driver then reverses and appears to speed away from officers before one of them opens fire. The SUV then crashes into a parked car as bystanders and officers run towards the driver. Chaos and anger in the street.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rukaha, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to all for Allah, preaching this word in true sincerity. To you ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom. You know, it's been a wild week, man, but out of all of them, this one struck the most nerve. Right, because this woman was, you know, trying to get away. Most likely had children, right? The mother's instinct is to protect her seed. So you gotta think about it, right? This woman who's surrounded by ICE agents knows what's about to happen to her. So she decides to flee, most likely, so she could get to her children. Can you imagine, for you out there that have children, if you don't have children, you have nieces, or even a relative you love, and you can see the desperation on somebody knowing that they're going to be kicked out, most likely brought to a place where they're not even from. Right, because a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying, like if you're from Mexico and they drop you off in Mexico, they don't drop you off exactly in your hometown. They drop you off wherever it's more convenient, just over the border. And it's pretty dangerous over there. You know, a lot of times, you know, now there was this one dude who got taken to another country, a very dangerous one. And who knows? Who knows where they might bring you, to a place where they harvest, you know, organs, things of that nature, the horrors that could happen. So you gotta understand, this woman has every right to try to flee and, you know, make it home to safety somehow. That's just natural instincts, right? But that devil, right? He was out for blood. Like they all are. They have this perpetual hatred against the children of Israel. They get their rocks off doing this. And the crazy part is they can't pay for it. I could go on and on and on about this damn devil and this, you know, this papa. This is the eagle, right? That's spoken about in Deuteronomy 28. He's as swift as the eagle flieth, right? A nation that we shall not know his tongue, that we shall show no favor to the young or to the old. This is him. This is who we're dealing with. No mercy, no pity, no compassion. Now, this is the Minneapolis law on self-defense if a vehicle is, you know, causing potentially harm, death to themselves or someone else. It says in Minneapolis, the law generally requires an individual to safely retreat. Right, that man was not retreating, he was moving forward. Right, both his feet passed the front of the vehicle. The vehicle was turning to the right, away from the officer. And when the officer was by the driver's side door, he unloaded 3 shots as the vehicle attempted to drive away and pull away from his body. He was in no threat. right? It says in Minneapolis, the law generally requires an individual to safely retreat if possible, because using deadly force in public, which includes incidents involving a vehicle, the use of deadly force, such as shooting a vehicle, is only legally justified if it is the only reasonable option to prevent an imminent threat or death or great bodily harm to yourself or another person. Right? So that man was not in danger. Matter of fact, if that woman was driving off fast and he shot at her as she was driving off, she could have killed the little boy on a sidewalk or something, making him responsible and liable. But this is the person, man. I mean, the government has their back. Says that he was acting in self-defense when clearly it wasn't self-defense. These are our possessors. The nation in which the Lord had us under subjection for going off, right? For breaking the commandments. He put these curses on us. And this is why they could do these things with a smile on their face and hold themselves not guilty. This is Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 4. Thus said Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter. Right? We were handed off to the slaughter. Right? It says, verse 5, whose possessors, who was Esau, Edom, slay them, right? They continuously kill us in the streets. They hunt us down like we're game. It says, and hold themselves not guilty. Right? They just do it without shame, without guilt, without mercy. And they also they puff off their chest, man. They're very proud people. Right? They hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Right? That's what we're dealing with. Know the enemy. So it says, never trust thine enemy. In the book of Sirach, also known Ecclesiasticus, I believe it's chapter 12. Right? We are not trying to save these people. We're not trying to congregate. We're not trying to be in the same church as him. You've seen what happened with Dylan Ruth when he was allowed into the congregation. He shot everybody in that church, and the cops brought him to McDonald's. Where they do that at? Yeah, only here in Babylon. This is Lamentations, chapter 4. Verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heavens. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Right, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. This scriptures, bring you a lot of comfort, man. Right? But with much knowledge cometh much sorrow. Right? But it's these scriptures that comfort us to know that there's going to be a means to an end to this. Right? It drives you mad, right? Because the scriptures say a wise man, pressure make it a wise man mad. But at the end of the day, we know there's a means to end to this. That this is but a short time, man. Though our possessors slayed us and sold us, the Lord is going to, put that cup on them, right? Like it says in verse 22, it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, right? This is a future prophecy that says you have completed the curses and the punishment is over for you. We tell a child, your timeout is finished, buddy. Get out of the corner. Right? And this is what he says. He says, he will no longer carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Right? Matter of fact, when we go to a verse before it says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. Right? That's what's going to happen to them. And they're going to wish they were never born. Look at this. It says, it says this is the result of abuse of power and giving anyone a badge and a gun. This is the aftermath, man. Right, it looks like a child's toy right here in this cup holder, like a unicorn. Right, that little fuzzy thing. Looks like a horse or a puppet. Right, it has little pink beads there. Daughter probably made that. I'm just guessing, but just imagine this person had loved ones. And look at how many people are laughing at this. Look at this. Right, I'm gonna click on this. These are all the laughs. 6,100 some odd, thousand. Look at this. Look at the names. Just look at this. Like, this really boils your blood. Like look at this. I mean, no surprise, right? No surprise. Right? No surprise. These are the oppressors that hold themselves not guilty. Now this guy looks, I don't know. This guy looks like a Jake or, I don't know. Either way, man. Like, look at this. These are people that's laughing. Right, this is the face of hatred. 3,000. I cannot scroll fast enough. Right. This is James chapter 2, verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that has showed no mercy. Right. But anyways, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Bakaha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the for like preaching his word in truth, sincerity. To you ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom.